morning, everyone. This is Gail Dudley, and it is time for News in Motion. Today is Tuesday, people. It is Tuesday, February the 7th, 2023. And y'all, we have a lot of news. So Isaiah and I were talking before we came on here, and he says, well, just tell everybody, go ahead and get their coffee, get their donut, get their breakfast, get whatever, because we may be here for a little while. And we're going to do our best not to keep you long, but we want to make sure we cover all this information. In addition to covering this information, we also want to talk about the State of the Union and what to look for, which is going to happen a little down in today's show. So I see you, Pastor Alex. How's Florida? What's that weather like there? How's Laura doing there? What's up, Adrian? Coming in from YouTube. I see you, Dr. Antoinette. I see you, Marion Jackson. What's up, Lori Wallace? I see you, Deborah Sneed. Good morning to all of you. I see you, Robert Holman. Good morning to you as well. I see you, Fred Jones. What's up in the Jones household? Again, y'all, we have a lot of news. So we're going to try to get through it as quickly as possible. But there's a couple key things we need to cover today. And then we have the State of the Union, what to look for. I'll be up getting all the notes for all of you for tomorrow's news as well. Pastor Alex says weather is good and Laura is doing well. Well, tell Laura I said hello. So yeah, let's just jump right into it. First off, we want to give a shout out to Deborah Johnson. Y'all, Deborah Johnson kicked off her broadcast, Right from the Heart. She kicked it off yesterday at 5 p.m. and it will happen every Monday at 5 p.m. You can find that right here on News in Motion, as well as her DJ Right from the Heart Facebook page. So be sure to check that out. Y'all check out the replay as well. It was absolutely phenomenal. It's so interesting, y'all. I called her at 5:33 after she had gone off the air, and I said, okay, I was ready to jump in here at 5 o'clock. Got busy doing something in the kitchen. I said, but I'm watching the replay right now. So I have to remind myself to set that. But I listened to that. I watched it in its entirety, and it was absolutely amazing. So check that out. I believe Deborah Sneed was on there. Also, I believe I saw her name come up a few times. Pastor Alex said, Laura is listening with me, and she says, hi, what's up, Laura? Oh, now she comes in here. Hey. So yeah, all of that is happening. What's up, Davia? What's up? All right, y'all, let's continue with our Black History news. Today, we have a great highlight. We have Lori A. Wallace, y'all. And Lori, we have her graphic as well. Lori is the owner of Double I Design Studio, the home of Set the Atmosphere Interiors. Double I designs and remix fashions. Set the Atmosphere creates unique spaces in your home, work, or event. Remix Fashions is reconstructed, redesigned, chic fashions, recreated with a new twist. She's going to be working on a jean jacket for me. Focus on unique designs using denim, leather, camouflage, and men's ties. She takes the old and gives it a new funk. Lori, Double I, creates original artwork, home decor, and accessories. Using unique objects for her creations is one of her favorite things to do. You see a clothespin or rusted washer, she sees art. Lori, I like saying this, Double I, does set design for her productions and many others. She is currently the set designer for an upcoming show on Hulu, where her artwork will also be in the spaces she designed. Yeah, you can contact her, and somebody write this down. Contact her at settheatmosphere@gmail.com. settheatmosphere@gmail.com, and we will make sure we get that email in the chat as well. So Black History Month, Lori Wallace, you are doing great things. We appreciate you and thank you. It's funny because thank you, Isaiah. I have one of her art pieces, and I meant to have it in here, and I don't have it with me. But, I have a way of finagling and get it in here before the show is over. But, yeah, her work is great. And, yes, she is working on a jean jacket for me. And it was interesting. I was telling Lori, I said, okay, I found the jean jacket. She goes, that's the hard part, is to find what you want. But then she's going to hook it up. So I'm really excited about her hooking that up for me. Make sure you all support her work. Make sure you support her and make sure you look out for her on Hulu. And congratulations to you, Lori, for uh, being the set designer for an upcoming show on Hulu. And the email is out there. So thank you very much for that. All right, y'all. I'm getting into the news this morning. You are welcome, Laura. You are welcome. You are welcome. You are welcome. And I see others of you coming in here. Judy Neal. I see you coming in here. Donita. I see you coming in here. So good morning to all of you. All right, y'all. Over 5,000. That rocked me this morning when I saw that number. Over 5,000 are dead after the massive earthquake in Turkey and in Syria. USA Today is reporting the death toll surged to more than 5,000 early this morning after a powerful pre-dawn earthquake and series of strong aftershocks collapsed thousands of buildings, y'all, along the Turkish-Syrian border. The survey said that a magnitude 7.8 quake struck in the very early morning on yesterday, which was Monday, about 20 miles wide. And then hours later, a 7.5 magnitude quake struck more than 60 miles away from that initial one. An untold, now get this, y'all, I want us to pray, an untold number are believed trapped under the rubble of thousands of collapsed buildings, and the injury and death toll was expected to continue to rise, and there are already over 5,000 of survivors. Now, thousands of survivors, forgive me, death toll was expected to rise as rescue workers will begin digging through the wreckage. Now, thousands of survivors were left homeless in the cold rain and snow. So there's some information that's out here because, we see things we want to jump to and want to help, which that's our heart. We want to do that. But be patient for a moment and make sure we are vetting the organizations and make sure we're having some connection. So I did find some that I want to share with you this morning, if I can get my system to open up. So here's what I've learned, and I want to make sure I get this to you. The Turkish Red Crescent is a part of the Red Cross. The American Red Cross said 900 Turkish Red Crescent workers and volunteers were distributing food and medical aid, but they're saying don't send any yet. And if you want to do anything, go through your American Red Cross to do it. So that's out there. And then the Turkish International did do a tweet on that saying how the money is being spent. The Syrian Red Crescent is doing something similar, and the International Blue Crescent Relief and Development Foundation is also putting things together. And a lot of this I grabbed off of USA Today from their press releases. Now, Global Giving, they will contact emergency relief nonprofits around the world with donors. But wait and get all the information before you just give. Save the Children is another one. Project Hope is another one. The Jewish Federation of North America is another one. And more organizations that we pulled together: AmeriCares, CARE, Direct Relief, Doctors Without Borders, Humanity and Inclusion, International Medical Corps, Mercy Corps, UNICEF USA, UN World Food Program USA, and World Vision. We also know our dear friend who has been on with us several times and also wrote an amazing article for Ready Publication that released back in last September, Dr. Command. He's probably going to be one of the rescue people. So pray for all the different doctors that are going from different cities and states. But again, be mindful before you jump in and send money. Make sure you vet the source. Make sure you vet the source. All right, y'all, real quick, y'all, and that's happening Tuesday. Council on Foreign Affairs is popping. Y'all, China lodges a formal, I don't know why I'm laughing about this. They lodged in a formal protest with the U.S. Embassy. They said we were just out of line to shoot down their spy balloon. Really? You were spying on the U.S. Come on now, we shot it down. It was 3 huge busloads full. All right, y'all. So China has accused the United States of indiscriminate use of military force against their balloon. Like, how dare you? After the U.S. forces shot down the suspected Chinese surveillance balloon over the U.S. airspace. So that's that. And Financial Times is giving a big piece on that. Y'all, Hong Kong, a court has begun hearing the largest trial yet to use national security law in Beijing imposed on Hong Kong in 2020. So 47 activists and opposition politicians are accused of subversion, and they are not happy about that. Y'all, there's a lot that's going on in our world today. I know we focus right here, but there's a lot going on. I see Deborah Johnson coming in here. We gave you a shout out, girl, and we told people to replay. And thank you for launching that and doing what you do. A lot is going on, y'all. Get this, y'all, the Iranian government says it will pardon tens of thousands of prisoners. But as you unpack all of that, Iran has pardoned detainees. This is the Washington Post that's pulling a lot of this together. In the past, on the February 11th anniversary of its 1979 Islamic Revolution. It is unclear, though, as to what extent participants in the ongoing anti-government protests will be included in the pardon. We know what's been happening there since last September, which includes those convicted of certain crimes. But it doesn't stop there, y'all. Israel and Ukraine, the Ukrainian government asked that Israel publicly condemn Russia's invasion of Ukraine and approve a $5 million loan to Kyiv ahead of the visit by Israel foreign minister. So Axios is putting all that together, y'all. In Kenya, a court ruled that a lawsuit accusing Meta, which we talked about this a few weeks ago, Facebook's parent company, of poor working conditions, can proceed in Kenya's jurisdiction. So there's a lot that's happening. They're going after Meta and Facebook, talking about the working conditions of their employees and how they're being treated. A whole lot's unfolding there, and AP is pulling all that together. Y'all, and then in Canada, Canada deploys military aircraft over Haiti. Say what? This is all happening, y'all, on That's Happening Tuesday. Canada said it sent the plane, and Reuters is putting all this together at the request of Haitian government to support efforts to disrupt worsening gang activity. So all of that's popping off in Haiti. And if that's not enough, y'all, Oklahoma judge right here in the U.S. rules against banning guns for marijuana users. There's some people in high places trying to stop marijuana users from having access to guns. Really? Say, what are we really talking about here? But the judge ruled that the federal law prohibiting marijuana users from owning guns is unconstitutional. So the AP is pulling all that together, y'all. All of that is happening. And if that's not enough, y'all remember when we were children, we go, liar, liar, pants on fire. Well, y'all, Georgie boy is still at it. He has now been accused of sexual harassment. Since he's been in that office and been sworn in, it all happened right about the time he took the oath. A former aide filed a complaint with the House Ethics Committee on Friday against Representative George Santos. His real name is Anthony DeVoyer, but I don't know why they still calling him George Santos. I have no idea. He's a Republican. Y'all know all about him. I don't even know if he's a Republican. I don't even know if he's real. Anyway, according to the copy of the complaint posted on social media, and I got all the receipts to tell y'all about it. So first up, I got the tweet from Derek Myers. This is the one who's filed the complaint. He says, as stated in the filing, my complaint pertains to violation of House ethics in which I was an unpaid volunteer performing staff duties with the promises of employment and compensation, only to be released after several days of work without compensation. He said, but that ain't why I got released. Let me keep reading. Additionally, my filings detail sexual harassment I endured in the office of the congressman, George Santos. These matters will hopefully be appropriately addressed by the police and the ethics committee, respectively, in due time. He goes on and say, since nobody wants to believe him, and he's the one telling the truth, and I'm going to have to show y'all this right here. I got the copy of the letter. Yes, I did. I got the copy of the letter. Let me tell you what this letter says. Not all of it, because it's 2 pages. It says, the Honorable Michael Guest, the Honorable Susan Wild, Committees on Ethics, and then it gives the address, Washington, D.C., request for investigation reading. So here's just a little bit of it. I am writing to you to request an investigation into Congressman George Santos, New York '03 district. In January 2023, I was interviewed for and offered a job by the congressman to be his legislative correspondence and staff assistant in his DC office. The position was offered to me on Monday, January 23rd. I proceeded to fill out my onboarding new hire paperwork and submitted it that evening. Later that evening, I was asked by the office chief of staff, Charlie Lovett, to come into the office the next day to be introduced to the staff. Hello, somebody. He got it all written out here, y'all. He talked about he went to the congressman's office on Tuesday, January 24th. He began walking around. He had assigned desk duties, told his job duties. He spent the rest of the day performing work for the congressman and escorting him around the building. He said, my work including answering the phones, reading mail, corresponding, and writing constituents, among other tasks. I was told that my title was volunteer until my paperwork would be processed through the payroll department. I was told this process would take several days, but that I would work in the office until then under the title volunteer. He said, since I have learned that such volunteer work with congressional office without correct procedures being followed is a violation of House ethics, and I'm requesting this serve as an official request for an investigation into the violation. So let me go on down. He says, secondly, hello, somebody. I am writing to request an investigation into sexual harassment. On Wednesday, January the 25th, I was alone with the congressman in his personal office going over mail correspondence from constituents and making my recommendation for which letters we should respond. The congressman earlier in that day asked me if I had a Tinder profile. Hello, somebody, which is widely known as the LGBTQ plus social networking app, more commonly used for sexual intercourse. The congressman shared with me that he himself had a profile. So he goes on and has this conversation. He writes it all up. I'm not reading all this because it gets really detailed in here, but that's what's happening right now with Georgie Boy. Marion said, come on now, Georgie boy, go ahead and resign. Like, come on, seriously, what is going on? And y'all, if that's not enough, I still got more news. And Isaiah's coming in a few minutes to give some news too. But y'all, the Omega Phi Psi revokes membership of three officers charged in the Tyree Nichols beating. The Root is talking about this. 3 of the 5 officers charged in the fatal beating of Tyree Nichols were members of the Omega Phi Psi Fraternity Incorporated, and the renowned Black Greek organization revoked the former officers' membership after their horrid actions were displayed in front of the country in the body camera footage, per NBC. The organization issued a statement last week ahead of Tyree Nichols' funeral announcing that the 3 officers had their memberships revoked effective immediately. Upon learning of their role in the alleged murder, according to the Memphis Commercial Appeal, one of the officers, last name Ben, Officer Ben, was chapter president of the University of Mississippi. So their membership has been revoked. So y'all, that's happening Tuesday. What I want to see what y'all saying in the daggone chat. Adrian said, wow, the audacity. Marion says, really, China got caught and now they want to protest, right? Kim Edmondson says, that's happening Tuesday, and a lot is happening. Marion saying, come on now, George Santos, resign your seat. Lori saying, wow, that's seriously happening. Shaking my head. Y'all, a lot is happening. I see so many of you rolling up in here. I'm so glad you're in here this morning hanging out with me. I see you, Rodessa. I see you, Hester. I see you, Regina. I see all of you coming up in here. Y'all, we have a good time right here. Yes, Kim Edmondson, that's a lot. All right, y'all. Isaiah and I were having a conversation because we're trying, as I shared with y'all yesterday, when we get offline and we get our report, we show that our report shows that there's like 300 plus people watching live, and we're trying to understand, why does that number up there only say 20 to 25 or 30? Then Isaiah, being the expert that he is, y'all, again, y'all, he received 295% on his college papers last week. So shout out again to him. But he's had some inside information. And I wanted him to come on just briefly to share with all of you, our viewers, this inside information, because it pertains to all of us. All of us. So if you're online, if you know, it's not just algorithm. He's going to tell us about shadow banning and how we get banned and what normally happens if they see us really taking off. They will begin to hold us back to make us believe that something, or make you all who's viewing believe that this really isn't happening. And over again, I see our reports and I'm like, these numbers don't add up. All of a sudden, they started sending us the report. So when we go off air, Isaiah and I still take about 10 to 15 minutes and go over different things that are happening. And we begin combing through the numbers together. Again, Isaiah is the expert. He is going to come in here. And before he does, Dr. Antoinette says, I wonder if that's why they want to gut the ethics committee. It could be. That's a great question. And Deborah says, Georgie Porgy needs to go. Listen. So I want y'all to hear from Isaiah. And along with hearing from Isaiah, understand why your post, even regular posts, not video posts or reels, are not getting the attention, which means we have to do our work and we have to keep supporting and sharing and liking, scroll, save on Instagram. Don't just like, also hit that save button, save it. Engagement, all of that's a part, y'all. Social media is work. And especially if you're putting out some important information, you want other people to hear. So come on in here, Isaiah, and talk to everybody about this shadow banning. Mr. Expert, go for it.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Ms. Gail Dudley. So just a quick debrief on what shadow banning is. Shadow banning is basically a major platform, for example, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. What they will do is they will take your post and they'll check your views, check your For You page, your demographics, basically your outreach, your target audience. And if it doesn't align with their algorithm, they're going to just send that all the way down to the archives, to the bottom of the page. So that way it doesn't get as much views, promotion, as, some of your counterparts. This is happening all over social media, especially on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. And if I'm being real, it's really happening with Black video content creators. What they do is, since we don't want to pay these social media platforms for their analytics and to promote their agenda, what they do is they basically shadow ban us and they silence us for not, paying for their views and promoting their stuff as well, like ads, marketing, all of that. So that's basically what shadow banning is. And what me and Ms. Gail Dudley discussed yesterday is, on our platform, on our streaming platform, StreamYard, we only see 20 live viewers coming in from Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and if you count, audio podcast listeners, those count as well. But in reality, we really have 300 and let's just say 315 people live viewing in, but we don't see that. We only see 10% of that. That's because Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube are kind of shadow banning us because we don't pay for their analytics. So it's important that we keep sharing, we keep, and sending this to our friends. Set your notifications so that when you receive all messages, all videos from News in Motion, from any business page that you support, any business page that you have, be sure to refer to your clientele and let them know to set their notifications so that way they can receive all important info, posts about anything that you promote. And just be sure to keep spreading the word about your business, continue to promote. But whatever you do, do not pay for the analytics of the platform. They're just going to take your money and not even promote it on their page. I like what Miss Deborah Johnson said. We need our own social media sites. We might have to create our own social media sites because it's getting to the point where we set aside the time, we actually put in the effort, and we actually have the creativity to promote our businesses, whatever we do, and for it to not get promoted or put out as much or get as much attention, as somebody who just grabs a phone, does something, puts no effort into it whatsoever, and it receives thousands of likes, gets 2 million views, and they receive money for that, but you get nothing. That says a lot. So I just wanted to come on here, describe a little shout out benefit for y'all, give y'all a little teaching Tuesday. So I'm gonna give it back to Miss Gail Dudley.
He said teaching Tuesday. I like that. Y'all notice how quick Isaiah comes up with lines. Y'all, that's a brilliant mind that's in play right there. That's a brilliant mind. And I just want to say thank you. And again, I called you the expert on that because you're the one that's been doing all of the research, all the checking out of things that are going on. So thank you for doing what you do. And y'all pay attention because they're trying to force us to do something. Like you said, we won't get promoted. The other thing that's happening out there that I want to share with all of you is that there's a lot of influencers, Black influencers are looking at Google and TikTok and other places saying, why aren't they getting paid as much as these other non-Black influencers are getting paid?
Exactly.
So again, we have to support. And I'm going to say this. I've said it here before. Listen, sharing and liking is free. It is completely free. And it's interesting. There was a meme out there back during, I think it was before Thanksgiving. And the meme was saying it's sad that we're begging our friends and viewers to share and like and to engage. And we see our friends and family constantly sharing, liking, engaging work of people they don't even know. Y'all, we have to switch that mindset. So again, thank you, Isaiah, for all your work on this.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, y'all. There are food recall in 9 states. So y'all get ready. I'm getting ready to tell y'all all about it. More than 400 food items in 9 states have been recalled over potential listeria contamination. Now, Marina from USA did a complete report on this. I'm going to try to get this up here. I have this new system trying to work. It is really interesting. But anyway, more than 400 products ranging from breakfast sandwiches to lasagna and cut fruit are being recalled over potential listeria contamination. Right there, y'all, that line all by itself. If it is processed food, we need to give that stuff up. It's causing inflammation anyway. It's causing diabetes anyway. It's causing all kinds of health issues. Just give it up. Okay. Even the cut up fruit. Just gotta get the fruit and go home and cut it up. It's really that simple, and it's fresh that way. All right, y'all. Fresh Indication Food Group LLC of Baltimore, Maryland, is recalling products sold during a part of last month. Well, if you have chopped up fruit from last month, that's not good anyway. But anyway, they're talking about it could be potentially contaminated. So some of the things are breakfast muffins, ciabatta sandwiches, croissants, butternut squash lasagna, fruit plates, fruit cups, and vegetables, mixed berries, and other produce products, crumb cake and lemon loaf. Y'all don't need that anyway. Various sandwiches, including tuna, chicken salad, ham, roast beef, and more. I don't know. Some of that stuff some of that stuff you just don't do. So where are they? Connecticut, District of Columbia, Maryland, Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, and Virginia. There's this whole piece. I'll try to get the link of everything and put it in there so that you all can check it out. But y'all, there's a lot, over 400 products, over 400 products. Tanya's over there on YouTube and she says, my hubby is the best fruit cutter. Look. Lori Wallace says, how about that process? Cut it and make it yourself. If we just all had a chef, that's all I'm advocating for, a chef. If we would just all have a chef, it'd be okay. So y'all, 400 products are recalled again for listeria, including cut up fruit that you find in the produce department. And then all these different breakfast sandwiches and everything, even breakfast muffins and croissants, and again, ciabatta sandwiches. Now, I'm not calling anybody out because I'm not trying to get sued, but make sure even when you're driving through getting that cup of coffee and you think it's quick to get that sandwich, you may want to think twice about it. So be mindful of that. All right, y'all. I told you it's going to be a little long today. So here we go, the State of the Union. All right, y'all. Where can you watch the State of the Union live stream? Well, you can watch it from whitehouse.gov. You can watch it there. You can watch it on the White House YouTube. You can also watch it on Twitter at either at Pontius or at the White House. You can watch it on the White House Facebook page. You can also watch it on President Biden's Facebook page. You can watch it on all the White House news feeds. You can watch it there. Or if you don't want to do that, you can watch it on C-SPAN, NBC, ABC, CBS, MSNBC, PBS, CNN, Fox News, and also USA Today is streaming. AP is streaming. Pretty much all the streaming sites will be carrying this. It will begin at 9 p.m. It will begin at 9 p.m. It is a joint session that everybody's invited now. Everybody's open up to bring a guest if they want to. They don't even have to wear masks. But they are being tested before they get there. So all of that is happening. It will be full coverage. After the State of the Union with President Biden, you will have the rebuttal by none other. I don't know why they chose this person. By none other than Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Y'all remember she was the former guy's press secretary and was telling us stuff that really wasn't adding up. But yeah, she's doing the rebuttal. All right, so what are we going to watch for? What are we going to watch for? Well, I'm going to give you 7 things that I know he's going to talk about. How do I know? Because I get the emails. All right, y'all. He's going to talk about 2 strongest calendar years of job growth in history. And he really is rocking that out. Now, nobody wants to talk about that. I'll get to that in a moment, but he's really rocking that out. The second thing, the lowest unemployment rate in over 50 years. He ain't lying. I fact checked that. That is the truth. But why aren't we hearing about that? We'll talk about that in a minute. Manufacturing rebounded at the fastest rate in nearly 40 years. He ain't lying. That's actually true. But we don't hear about it. I'll talk about that in a minute. The 2 strongest years of small business applications in history. He ain't lying. That's really happening under his watch. I'll talk about that in a minute. Record decreases in deficit. True. Fastest gas price decline in 8 years. That's also true. Annual inflation down for 6 months. That's also true. The 7 things he's going to cover. He's going to cover. People are speculating he's going to also say he's going to run for re-election. I don't think he's going to do that. I don't even think he's going to run again, but who knows? So anyway, let me give you some more information as to what to watch. Y'all got this new toy, and I'm just like loving it. I'm just trying to learn how to get from one place to the other. All right, y'all. You're going to have McCarthy's speech beforehand, which is normally about 5-10 minutes. Sometimes the networks will go there, sometimes they will not because he's the Speaker of the House. They probably will go there because of all the drama that happened before he became Speaker and all the, 15 votes was out there. He's also going to talk about gun violence and policing. That's real. That's happening more and more. He will talk about the Chinese spy balloon. He's going to also really bring in information on what's happening with Ukraine. He will probably, in an interesting way, slip in the classified document probe. He got to say something. And then people are speculating that he will then announce that he's going to run for 2024 election. He's also going to talk about culture wars and understand, y'all, the fence return, and people are wondering why they think he may mention that. Now, the fence will probably only stay up through tonight into tomorrow because they don't know. They're having some chatter, some stuff that's going on for security reasons, so we don't know what's happening. All right, y'all. Now, the reason I said I'll talk about that later is because there's still a messaging problem. I don't know why they haven't hired me by now. I really don't know why. Because I just right here, when I gave y'all those 7 things, weren't you like, did he do that? Yes, he did. They have a messaging problem, a huge messaging problem. You can do all of this, but if people don't know, they don't know. For example, the Washington Post And there's an image we're going to put up here. Y'all, 2 years into the presidency, and this is coming from the Washington Post, Americans are not feeling impacted by the Biden agenda. And this is an ABC poll. Well, no, I'm not into polls because I didn't get polled. But anyway, they're saying more than 6 in 10 say the president has not accomplished much despite the passage of numerous bills. So this is coming from the Washington Post. I want y'all to follow this for a moment. Thank you, Isaiah. I want y'all to follow this for a moment. Right here on News in Motion. Also on the Gail Dudley brand, where I send out the weekly e-newsletter on Mondays. I tell y'all everything they doing. So why aren't the other media sources sharing with the constituents the truth? A part of me thinks that we need to get beyond political parties and say, this is what we're doing for you, the constituents. But there's so many political games that are happening that nobody wants to tell the constituents what's available. For example, this week in the Gail Dudley e-news that I sent out, the Audacious Advocate is the header. I told y'all about lead paint and lead pipes. I can't tell you, and that happened yesterday between 9 and 9:15. There's we're 400 of you now that subscribe to that. And so it goes out in sections. So from 9 to 9:15, people received that e-newsletter from me yesterday. Right before 12 noon, I had about 100 of you email me back saying, I have no idea. This is the area I live in. I'm going to contact these people and check my pipes. Why didn't their representatives tell them about that? Y'all, this is what the Biden administration is doing. So why aren't we as media outlet people communicating the truth to the community and to the constituents? That's a good question. I'm glad you asked. I have no idea why they're not doing that. I have no idea why they're not doing that. Because this is information we need so we can check. So people are getting sick, they're going to the doctor, and the doctor's saying, oh, you have the stomach flu, or you have COVID, or you have this, that, or the other. Not saying, well, maybe you have mold. Maybe you have lead in your pipes. Maybe you are drinking water that you should not be drinking. Maybe you need to be getting bottled water. But we produce that. The week before that, we sent out the whole renters piece, renter affordability, renters protection, renters promotion, just all of that. We gave y'all links and everything else. Well, why aren't other news media outlets telling you this information? This is all from the Biden administration. Before that, we sent out Medicare and Medicaid. We sent out information about the quality payment program. Some of you probably saying, what's that? Well, we sent it out on the e-newsletter, which is free to all of you. All you got to do is sign up. You can go to gaildudley.com. We're going to have a section every Monday that says from the White House. It is free. It is free, and share it with people. This is information that people need. From the Medicare, Medicaid piece that we sent out, I cannot tell you how many people said, thank you. I'm dealing with my ailing parents. I'm dealing with this, that, or the other. I didn't know all these loopholes. I didn't know we could get these things. For example, and we do this, I think my brother's on here. We do this with our parents. Y'all know about my mom. Well, you know, whether it's the poise pads or the depends or the insure or whatever. See, we just think, oh, let's just pay for it and that's it. No, there's places that you can get discounts or coupons or free or delivered or whatever else. But see, we're not educated in certain communities. We don't have that access. Well, we're providing it to you from News in Motion. So the messaging needs to change with the Biden administration or the Democratic Party as a whole. Whether you like them or not like them, their messaging stinks. For example, the Washington Post says 2 years into the presidency that the White House cast as the most effective in modern history, President Biden is set to deliver the State of the Union on Tuesday to a skeptical country, with the majority of Americans saying they do not believe he has achieved much since taking office, according to the Washington Post ABC News poll. Say what? Are you kidding me? The poll finds that 62% of Americans think Biden has accomplished not very much or little or nothing during his presidency, while 36% say he has accomplished a great deal or a great amount. I am here to believe that 36% are the people who take the time to read and search for stuff on their own. On many of Biden's signature initiatives, this is coming from the Washington Post, from improving the country's infrastructure to making electric vehicles more affordable to creating jobs, majorities of Americans say that they do not believe he has made progress. The polls find. Are you kidding me? Yeah, he has one of the best records in 50 years. But we're not talking about that. Now, Kim Edmonds says information overload. Tell me more. Information from news sources, information from me. What do you mean information overload? Adrian from YouTube is saying the lies sometimes overshadow reality. Example, the balloon news. Check the sources, people. Yes. Lori says they are too worried about representing one side or the other. Wrong focus. Exactly. Marion saying that they are polling the wrong people. I agree with you. Kim Edmondson says, what about inflation? My pockets are dry. That's for real. That's for real. But you know, there was an interview on 60 Minutes. I can't think of the man's name, but he was talking about corporate greed. And if y'all can see some of the numbers, and I don't have them right up here to share this with you, but corporate greed and the amount of billions that CEOs and presidents are securing each year and bonuses and all of that on the backs of those of us who have been buying all these things. Like, y'all, come on, eggs, seriously, $6-7. Are you kidding me? That is happening. Kim Edmonds is saying, yes, information overload from other news sources. Monica Lowe from LinkedIn. What's up, Dr. Lowe? Says, forget MSNBC, CNN. I'm listening to News in Motion with Gail D because you are sticking to the news. Good job. They need to hire you. Thank you, Dr. Lowe. Thank you. Their messaging needs to change. And I'm not sure who, except for myself, I'm sure there's others, can go in there and help them. I would be riding off of those 6 things. 2 strongest calendar year of job growth in history. It is fact. It is fact. You can find this. If you stop being biased and thinking you can only be Republican on one side, you can see that this is the truth. It is the truth. Lowest unemployment rate in over 50 years. It's true. It is so true. The manufacturing rebound rate and the fastest rate in nearly 40 years. All of these things are true. True strongest year of small business applications in history. I believe I talked about that on News in Motion. Y'all, all of that. Record decrease in deficit, fast gas price decline, annual inflation down for 6 months. All of that is true, y'all. All of that is true. So if I go to the inspirational message, I know I'm over time. If I go to the inspirational message, my inspirational message is this. What's your truth? What's your truth? Think about that. What is your truth? Is your truth coming based upon what somebody else is saying without you doing your own vetting and research? Even with me, I'm giving y'all all of this information. And I've told y'all this from the first day I stepped foot in this place of being a journalist and host to News in Motion. In the beginning, it was just me coming live June 22nd, 2020, just giving you some headlines because we were tired of all the other news. And my friends were saying, girl, you got a gift. I don't know when you're going to put it out there. And I did. And from that day, I've always said, don't take my word for it. Vet it for yourself. Vet it for yourself. I am very careful with what I share. Even that over 5,000 being killed in Turkey and Syria. Do y'all know how long it took me to go ahead and give y'all that number? I wanted to decrease that number and say like more than 3,000 because I wanted to make sure that number was right. I went to every source until I finally realized this number is absolutely correct. That's how much I pride myself on giving you the news that I give you. Yeah. And even when I make mistakes, y'all know I come back and say, I said this and that is not quite what it was supposed to be. My apologies. I ask for your forgiveness. So what is your truth? Are you going to do the work and the research to find the truth and stop listening to what other people are saying to you, thinking that they are the Bible in themselves and they just know everything? Seriously. Seriously. People used to laugh at me when my husband and I pastored a church, and they still laugh at me now. We're in different Bible studies groups where I'll ask a question or he'll say something. Everybody's like, oh, yeah. I'm like, wait a minute. I read. And I'll go back and I'll say, so can you tell me this from this perspective? And people say, did you quit? Yeah, I questioned him. Because I want to make it understand and have the connection. I'm not questioning him in a negative. I'm questioning, okay, can we go deeper here? Can you tell me a little bit more? Because I'm trying to connect the dots and I don't see it right now because I also read this. Can you tell me how this pertains to this so I can get a better understanding? I say it in a respectful way, but we should question. We just take stuff and run with it. Seriously. Y'all, what's your truth? What is your truth in this season? I believe as people are coming out saying they're running for president, there was a former mayor, I can't remember his name off the bat, but there's a former mayor who was on um, um, some Today show on ABC. I know today's on Channel 4 or NBC. So I don't know. But anyway, he came out and he was saying it's time for a president to have financial understanding and background. Okay, that sounded good. But something he said that really resonated with me. So I started began my journey of researching him. He's saying, we got to stop fighting across the aisle and say what's good for our constituents. That's all he needed to say for me. I said, let me see who this dude is. Because I like what he's saying. But the question is, are we able to rise above party and get to the truth as to what's really happening? In your community, what's the truth? What's happening in your schools? What's the truth? Even if it's bad, what's the truth? What's the truth in your police departments and fire departments? What's the truth in the local government? What's the truth in your churches? What's the truth at the food banks? What's your truth? And are you willing to do the work and the research to get to the truth? All right, y'all, that's all I have for today. I'll be back tomorrow with some photo out of what's happened with the State of the Union. I will be up. Make sure y'all tune in so we can talk about it. Y'all, it's been great. I am Gail Dudley. Y'all know what I say. Stay well, everyone. And remember, make some bold moves. I'm out.